it so everybody can hear you. Hopefully we're not delayed that much anymore. Welcome to the Written Apocalypse. We have Scott Baker on tonight, and he is part of the Written Undead group that we have going on. And he's also from not too far away from me. He's here in New Hampshire as well. Scott, welcome to the Written Apocalypse show.
Well, Dee, thank you for having me. It is a pleasure to be here. As you said, I'm a member of the Written Undead. I'm a fellow zombie lover, colleague of yours up here in New Hampshire, where we're bracing for supposedly a huge snowstorm this weekend. I've been a writer I've been published since 2009. I've got a ton of stuff out there. I've got vampire stories. I've got big bugs running around New Mexico, vampires. The two series I'm working on now is I'm finishing up my Shattered World series, my young adult fantasy about a 16-year-old boy running around the world trying to close portals between heaven and hell, between hell and earth that's been flooding the world with demons. And just last week, I released the first book in my newest zombie series, Nurse Alyssa versus the Zombies, which I'm very excited about. This is different for me. This is going to be a long-term series, probably 8 or 9 books at least. And I'm not dealing with like a military group. It's a young woman, Alyssa, a nurse at Mass General Hospital in Boston, who finds herself in the ground zero of a zombie outbreak and has to call on all of her skills, even though she didn't know she had, in order to survive.
Wow, you're a busy man. So
I'm extremely busy.
So have you had a more opportunity through all this time we've had to get a lot more done, or have you discovered Netflix like I have?
My problem is I'm a workaholic. And when I had excuses to go out, it was fine. I could, I got to go do these 5 or 6 errands. That'll get me out of the house for a few hours. I don't have excuses to get out of the house. So when I'm home, I get up, I come down, I have breakfast in front of the computer, I work. Maybe I'll take a lunch break. I'll come back down and work. I'm putting in 12-hour days. Everybody's telling me I'm just burning the candle at all 3 ends. I got to calm down a little bit. But I love writing, so I don't consider it work. I consider it fun.
Me too. Well, I'm still sitting here. I get up about 5 or so and get started. And I think I'm frozen. Get started on things, and I go probably till it gets dark. And then after that, I've lost all my motivation, and I'm on to Netflix. I'm currently on Game of Thrones. So you're writing.
I have been watching Blacklist.
Oh, I just got done watching Designated Survivor, and it was pretty close to some real stuff. I got mad. It's only got 3 seasons. You get through it all, and you're like, all right, now what? I have no life because my characters have been frozen. So you're moving into another genre with this next run of books.
The young adult series?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to do something different. And I was looking to do something in the young adult genre. And I thought, vampires, zombies, they're cool. But there's certain tropes you have to follow. If you stray too far, especially in the zombie genre, people get very mad at you. And I wanted to just use my imagination. So I decided Demons from Hell, because I can do what I want, create what I want, make them as evil as I want, and nobody's going to say, oh, gee, a Ravager isn't really that neat. So I've been having a huge fun with that. It originally was published, some of you might remember it as the Hellgate Saga under my old name, Josh Matthews. The publishing house, unfortunately, went out of business. Burning Willow Press, they were one of the best publishers I had worked with. Unfortunately, independent publishers, as you know, are having such trouble this day keeping their head above water. So when I got the rights to the book back, I decided I'm just going to republish them under a different title under my name. The third one will be coming out late June, and the series should be all finished. The last two books, which have never been published, will be published by the end of the year.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome. So,
Because I'm finding myself with one problem, because I'm killing off all my characters, and in the last book I'm down to a handful, and those are the characters I really, really like. And now I'm like, well, wait a minute. If I start killing off these people, I'm killing off my favorite characters. That's hard for me. I'm starting to realize what the fans feel like when I kill off their favorites.
yes, yes, I have gotten hate mail for killing off people. But you can always introduce characters just to kill them off. That's become my new favorite thing to do. You can always introduce new characters just so that you can kill them off. So you have fresh meat to kill off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When I introduce bad guys, you pretty much know most of them are going to get eaten or swallowed by a dragon or something. But, you know, I do like to kill off the major characters. I'm just vicious that way. You know, I always love the movie where you get so hooked on a character or a TV series, and then when they get killed, you feel that emotional loss.
Yep.
I've just got to do that in my books.
Yep. There's been a few deaths. I know I'm moving around a lot. There's been a few deaths of characters that just ticked me off. I was like, you're kidding me. I am hollering over in Written Apocalypse right now to see if anybody wants to join us over in the Written Undead.
Are you talking about my books or just in general?
Just in general. Yeah, I get mad when they, I mean, all of the shows or the books or whatever. I'm like, are you kidding me? So.
I think the character that they killed off that I really wanted to see stay alive was the governor from The Walking Dead.
Really?
I loved him. At that scene just before the finale, when Rick makes it, while he's holding the sword to the father's head, and while Rick makes the speech, we can all get along. There was a part of me that's like, yes, team up together, join up together. But then,
yeah, I
missed him.
I was ticked off about Glenn. I'm still ticked off about Glenn. And because, I mean, poor Glenn, right? He does everything all the time. He is like the guy they stick in the well, the guy, you know, what did Maggie call him, zombie bait, you know? And so he does all this stuff, and then, you know, we think he's dead and he's under the dumpster. And so a couple of shows go by and everything, and we find him. And then, you know, the season ends, and, you know, Negan comes along, and I'm still mad about Glenn. That's all I got to say about that. It's like, why bring him back if you're only going to kill him?
They misled us.
Yeah.
They misled us. But yeah, because, you know, I swore that it couldn't have been. I told my wife, it can't be Glenn because they already killed Glenn off.
Right.
Now, I stopped watching The Walking Dead after they killed off Rick.
Yeah. I really haven't watched much further past that, although I've been binge watching, catching up, and I plan to watch like the rest of it anyway. But I always said if they kill Daryl, that's it. I'm done. They can't kill Daryl.
For me, it's Carol. I love what they did with her character. They took her from the battered, beat, abused, wimpy little woman, and now she's the biggest badass on the show.
I know, right? Look at the flowers.
My favorite scene with Carol, oh no, the cookies with the little kid when he catches her going through the armory and she says, I'll tie you to the tree and nobody will hear you scream except the zombie, the walkers. Boy, you can keep your mouth quiet and I'll make you cookies. I'm like, man, that's cool. I love it.
I know. She's cold.
And she is such I met her once. She is such a sweetheart. You know, I always get the kick when you see these characters. Like I met the governor once, and he was such a sweet, lovable guy. And it's like, but you killed Herschel. You killed everyone.
Right? We don't like you. You killed Herschel.
Yeah. But I think, I think for an actor, that's got to be the best role, is to be the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loves the good guy, but you root for the villain that's just delightfully evil. Hans Gruber, Hannibal Lecter, the governor.
Yep, Negan. I always tell everybody, they're like, so, what character are you going to be like when the zombie apocalypse hits? I say Negan. So,
he ran the camp well.
Yeah, gotta say, they ate well. Speaking of characters, do you have characters in your book that are like that? The ones you love to hate?
Not really love to hate. I haven't, not in my zombie books. When I introduce a bad guy in the character, they're bad guys. I haven't thought of developing. I don't want to develop a character like that because I can't think of anything outside of the governor or the Negan. I don't want to look like I'm copying.
Mm-hmm.
In the vampire trilogy I wrote, I do make the vampires, the masters, relatable. I don't make them 3D, like 30 Days a Night, these two-dimensional characters. They've got backstories. They've got histories to them. They've got their own reasons why they want to become vampires. And you do relate to them. And I kind of hope some people think, oh, I want that one to live. But no, human bad guys, they're just completely despicable. And I try to think of nice ways to kill them off.
We are getting yelled at in The Written Undead. Uh-oh, something happened here. We are getting yelled at in The Written Undead because Heather tells us, I didn't know Rick died. Well, there's more of a spoiler beyond that.
I know.
I'm not going to say what it is.
Yeah, but that was like 3 episodes. That was 3 seasons ago. I thought everybody had seen that.
Yeah.
And Heather, yes, I have I'm reading Heather's comment about my New England accent. I was stationed in Seoul, South Korea for 3 years, and I worked closely with a bunch of South Koreans. And they went to my boss one day and asked them what language I spoke, because none of them who spoke perfect English could understand me. And hello to everyone who's joined us. Allie, I noticed you said hello. Hi.
I'm trying to.
Oh, Beth was good. I liked Beth.
I did too. I thought Beth was awesome.
Now, for Beth,
I was mad about Beth.
I know she shouldn't have died.
No.
I thought myself, the writing got very poor on The Walking Dead. There was no reason for that woman, the security guard, to kill Beth. And then when they got to the point that they started adding character after character after character, you'd go 3 or 4 or 5 episodes before you saw your favorite person. It's one of the reasons why I stopped watching it.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say was, as for bad characters and how they die, I'm going to mention it here. I'm going to be running a contest in a few months. For anybody who wants to, I'm going to make you one of the bad guys in the 3rd book, and I promise a gory, bloody, violent end to the book.
Oh, nice. I mean, who doesn't love that? All about that.
Yeah. And it's not going to be just a simple, they bite your throat and your turn. I mean, ripped apart type stuff.
Oh, entrails. All kind of stuff.
Yes.
So,
I mean, that's one of the things I loved about Fear the Walking Dead. They always came up with unique ways to kill this. Like when they lured them into the propeller blades. Oh, that was awesome.
I only watched a little bit of that one. It was slow starting. It took me a while, and then
That one, it started, the first season was very slow, and I gave the second season a shot, and it really got good because they started killing off main characters. They started making the characters more likable. The scenario was realistic. And then when Morgan went from The Walking Dead to Fear the Walking Dead, that hooked it for me. He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I love Morgan. And when he first was on the Walking Dead, I remembered him from Jericho, which is also one of my favorite shows. I thought that was tragically ended. But I did have a question, and it just like escaped me. It's gone. So in your next upcoming series, is this like zombies, or is it, I'm afraid I'm a little unclear. Is it like zombies, or is this like dragons?
No, the Nurse Alyssa series is pure zombie apocalypse. And I do my favorite type of zombie, the ones that start out as fast zombies, like in 30 Days, World War Z.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hate fast zombies.
They're fast. Well, I do them in the first one, but my zombies, what I like to do is, as they grow older and as the body starts to decay, they become this slow, shambling type. So
yeah,
in the
I tell
first
you
book,
guys,
she's being chased through Boston.
Ooh, Boston. I tell you guys, you and Chris Philbrook, you guys are at Gibson's there in Concord. And when I made my cameo appearance as a sign on a chair, I tell everybody I hate fast zombies. And you tell me to watch Train to Busan, which has what? Fast zombies. I was horrified, but I sat through the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, if fast zombies are done right, they're awesome. You know, Train to Busan, World War Z were the only ones where I liked the fast zombies.
Yeah, World War Z was
and Dawn of the Dead, the remake.
I never watched the remake. I like the original.
And if you liked Train to Busan, Netflix has 2 seasons of The Kingdom. It's a Korean-made zombie series set in ancient Korea. It is phenomenal. It is one of the best TV shows out there.
And I suppose this is going to be fast zombies.
Oh, yes, with a twist.
Yeah, I ain't watching it. Heck no. I'm gonna keep binging Game of Thrones. Thanks. Um,
I am ashamed to say I have never watched it. That's next on my binge watch list.
oh my God, there's like 7 seasons, I think. I've already watched it all,
Yeah.
but
I never had I never had HBO, so by the time I got back from overseas, it was like already all these seasons into it, and I didn't feel like catching up.
yeah,
I
I didn't
probably
like the way
should
it
someday.
ended. I didn't like the end of it. I think that we never really like the end of any show. It doesn't matter how they end it, we don't like it.
No, very few TV series have ended that I've enjoyed the ending.
So tell us
I think
about
I think the one that comes to mind that everybody liked was MASH. That
yeah,
had a beautiful ending, but
yeah, this is true. So tell us about the ending of your zombie series.
well, the zombie trilogy that I wrote.
Yep. Is that the one that the nurse one is on now?
No, the Nurse Alyssa one just began. The
Well,
first book came out actually last Friday. It's only been out a week. And that book, I'm going to be publishing that once every 6 to 8 weeks until that series runs dry. But I've also got an offshoot that I'm working on. Her brother gets stuck in the Middle East with a military engineering battalion and is told, yeah, okay, just fight your way back to Israel, kill everything in your path that's a debtor. But that's going to be more like zombie porn. It's just going to be killing zombies in the most unique way possible. The other trilogy I had, which was my Rota World series, that was published about 5 to 10 years ago. What I did with that was something that a lot of books I've read never did. I bring in the third book, the zombie apocalypse, to a conclusion. All the characters reach a point where they're fighting the war against the zombies, and only one side is going to emerge victorious. And I'm not going to tell you who, because I want you to read the book.
Well, yeah.
But I'm going to post a link afterwards. Anybody who's interested in seeing the books I write, you can check me out on Amazon. I'm Scott M. Baker. You'll see me. There's a picture of me in front of Abelsberg Castle, but in the picture I'm wearing glasses. And then you'll see the books. It's the Vampire Hunters trilogy, the Rota World trilogy, all the things. You can get all my books that are currently in publication are there. Let me just add the link now.
I'm going to put it in the comments on the Facebook.
Almost all of I just put it down in down here. It's it's the Amazon.com, Scott M. Baker. You can find me. All the books except one, the one that is traditionally published, is available for Kindle Unlimited.
Oh, very nice. Yes, I love Kindle Unlimited. All my books are in Kindle Unlimited. It's how I managed to read all of you.
And I make more money on Kindle Unlimited. And I think it's a great idea. You pick up an author, you read them. If you don't like him or her, you stop reading.
Right.
And if you do like him or her, you go. I'm a print book fan, as you can see behind me.
Me too.
But what I do now is I use my Kindle to buy books from authors I've never read. And if I buy the book, I read it, and I like it, I go out, buy the print version, and then from there on in, I read all the print versions of their book.
That's good. That's good. I mean, my Kindle is like full. I have so many. I try to read all of you. I don't read as many of the zombie books as I should. I think I have I have Javin's and I have David's. I don't think I have anybody because I'm a paper person too. But I have the rest of you guys all on my Kindle, and I start reading from time. I just, whatever I'm in the mood for, I do try to read them all. And I haven't actually read your newest book, but I will say that you, when I was reading some of your stuff when we were going to be over at Gibson's, you're a really good writer, and you have a lot of stuff in
Thank you.
in your in your books and stuff. So I wanted to ask you a question. So do you have to do a lot of research for some of the things that you put in there?
It depends. The locations for most of the locations in the books I visited. I was really fortunate. I worked for the federal government. I worked for the CIA for 23 years. And during those 23 years, I got to see stuff that just most people never get to see. I got to travel all over Asia, the Middle East, Europe. So when I sit down to write a book, it's like, okay, which place have I visited do I want to make? Because I've been there. I've got a feel for it. The Mont Saint-Michel, which is the home base in the Shattered World series, and which appears in one of my vampire books, friends and I spent the night there once. We were doing a World War II trip of France, and we got to spend the night at the hotel. And by the time we were done doing a midnight walk of the island, it was like I had 1,000 pictures. It was like, this is going to make it into some novels. Everything else, I do a lot of research on. I want to make sure it's accurate. The one thing I know, being in the government, if I read like a spy book where it is so stupid and off the wall, it turns me off the book. And I don't want to do that in my books. I don't want I don't want to make a semi-automatic have 15 rounds when it only has 13. Because that's the email I'll get. You don't know what you're talking about. That weapon doesn't have 15 bullets in it. Yeah. Yeah, most of it is as accurate as I can get.
So if someone was to, like, I don't know, look at your Google search history, what might they think?
I'm surprised there's not a black van parked out in front of my house 24 hours a day. Because I've done all sorts of, for some of the more basic horror I've written. I did a story in one of my anthologies, Incident on Ironstone Lane. It is torture porn. It is like an Eli Roth movie. And, I'm Googling, how much pain can the body take? What will acid do to somebody's eyeball? And then, of course, for one book I wrote that I haven't published yet, it's funny. I wrote a book that's half horror espionage that I'm debating about whether I should publish it. And in the book, I described how a thermonuclear weapon worked. I had a friend of mine who told me how a radiological bomb worked. All of this stuff in the book. And then, since I'm CIA, something like that, I have to submit to the government. And I'm thinking, they're going to rip this page out. They're going to destroy that scene. One thing they told me I could not use. I cannot use the word Delta Force. I have to use Special Forces because Delta Force is classified. I wanted to say to them, have you ever watched the Chuck Norris movie?
Yep. That was exactly the first thing that went into my mind. It was just like, I mean, we've all heard this before. So when you're writing so you are in the basement?
I spend most of my time in the basement. Now that the weather's getting good, I like to either, if it's a sunny, warm day, I sit out on my front porch in the sun. If it's a cold or a rainy day, I sit in the sunroom. I try to change my position as much as possible.
Yeah.
If I stay all my time in the basement, I'm going to start sleeping in a coffin and wearing a cape.
I was just going to call you that. I was just going to say, so you're one of them. You're a basement dweller. I was just wondering if you ever saw the sun, if you were secretly a vampire, never comes out.
No, I go to bed about 3 o'clock, and then I wake up anywhere between like 7 and 9. So when I wake up, the sun's out. The dogs are usually sitting at the bed, wagging their tail and puffing because they want to go out. So they're my alarm clock.
Oh, gee whiz. I'm sitting here yawning because I go to bed fairly early, but I get up, I don't know, around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, ready to go. And by this, that's what I said, by dark, I'm like, I need some TV and, I don't know, a cup of herbal tea, and I'm done.
But what I sometimes do at night is I'll turn on TV in the background while I'm writing.
I could never do
You know,
that.
and now there's noise. But my problem, well, that's my problem. Like I'm sitting there typing, and then it's like, ooh, Thor Ragnarok is on. And then the next thing I know, I've spent 2 hours watching TV and 2 hours searching the internet. So.
Yep. I get sucked into things like Facebook.
I tell myself that, when I do that, it's my body telling me, okay, you need to take a break. But if I do it 2 nights in a row, I tell myself it's me being lazy, and the next night I turn on music instead.
Yeah. Somebody said, and I don't recall who, it was in an interview, and they said classical music because it does something to the brain that makes it creative. And I found that if I turn on, because I like classical music, I found that if I turn on the classical music, I'm much more productive. However, I never listen to it because I'm always doing something else.
I've never used classical music. I have my iTunes playlist runs the gambit from like ABBA, 1970s disco, a ton of 80s, heavy metal, rap. So I put that on in the back. And I've got a playlist of certain songs I call Music to Kill Zombies by. And when I'm writing the battle scenes, that's what I put on. Because that's just that, like Wild Thing. There's just the beat to it. Well, if I play that music while I'm writing a fight scene, I just blow through the fight.
I can't play music with words. If I do, oh, hey, that's nice. I can take a nap in here. If I do, what happens is I end up singing and I can't write.
No, I don't have that problem. I am banned from singing by my family.
Yeah.
I am the worst singer in the world. I was banned from a children's choir by my mother and grandmother. That tells you how bad I sing.
I don't sing none too good either, but there's nobody listening. So, if I play something that's, got words and I like it, I'm just singing. That's why I got to play classical. I'm going to sing. I'm so easily distracted.
I dance and sing around my dogs. The female dog, Bella, dances with me. She gets excited. And Walter just looks at me like, you pathetic human being.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't dance. Just sing. But I'm like, squirrel. Ooh, squirrel. Butterfly. My internet keeps going bad, so I'm going to have to leave it up to you to be chatting.
Oh, I know.
Sure, I'm frozen.
I can hear you, but I can't see you. So.
Am I frozen? I don't know. It's been fine all day long. Everything has been working just fine, and now suddenly it's not working. And the only
because everybody's on right now. That's why. My daughter and my wife complain of the same thing. That's one of the reasons I stay up till 3 in the morning. internet works great. I can download Netflix. You know, I can research if I'm writing, no problem.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I can, I just don't know how I can make it any better. I have the high-speed internet. You'd think it would be high, but no, it isn't. So, you just released, what was the title of your newest release? Nurse?
It's Nurse Alyssa versus the zombies. Let me, I just put it in the comment section.
And
It's a
available on
short,
Amazon.
it's not a long novel. It's only a bit, it's available on Amazon for Kindle and Kindle Unlimited. I'm looking into the feasibility of doing it as a print edition, but it's not your traditional, you know, 100,000 page novel. So I don't know if I should like do one book at a time, or maybe when I've done 2 or 3 Kindle books, publish them as a series in print. But it's only about a week old. It's the first in the series. The second one will be coming out in early June. The third one will probably be coming out in maybe late July, early August. And I've got like 4 or 5 other books in that series planned out of my head. I just haven't written them yet.
Wow. That's, I mean, you know, I got 1, 2, 3, I don't know, 6 or 7 different projects going on right now. And, you know, just trying to be that prolific is, I don't know, I just can't put them out. Trying to put out this trilogy that, because we just released it, just dropped on Tuesday. And the next one comes out in 2 weeks. And these are, I don't know, full 50,000, 60,000 word novels. And it's just stressful.
Yeah, oh, it is. And then when you're juggling 2 or 3 of them at the time, you know, you always forget something. I'm just about to go to publication. It's like, oh, I forgot the ISBN for this one.
Yes. Yes. Trying to put them on. Well, plus I publish other people's books, and I have 3 or 4 of them in various stages of publication. So on top of my own books, you know, I have a couple of other ones, and I think that I have the cover all set for one, and I find out that I'm not, and it's supposed to release in 2 days, and I'm scrambling over the cover, or, you know, it hasn't come back from the editor yet, and I'm like, oh crap! So I got to go run and chase an editor, and it can be very nerve-wracking when you are trying to get everything together to get it published and stuff. And so you had your book published by a traditional publisher or a hybrid publisher, an indie publisher?
My vampire trilogy was published. It was published by a company that was just produced ebooks. Then it was published by 2 separate independent, one independent publisher that went out of business. And since then, I've just been self-publishing it on my own. I mean, that series is about 10 years old. It's still great. I still love it. It's one of my favorites. I had started publishing the Rotterworld World with Permuted Press, but they went through a very tough time after Jacob left, and I decided I didn't want to be with them. So Rotterworld World is still with Permuted. The other 2 books are published on my own. And then, like I was saying, the Hellgate was being published by Burning Willow Press. Love those guys. Love Ed and Kindrop. I was so upset when they had to close the publisher, but now I'm publishing them on my own. But everything else, the Nurse Alyssa series, the novellas, the anthologies, all self-published.
So is the experience a lot different?
Is it what?
Is the experience between having them published and self-publishing, is it a lot different?
It is a lot different. There are things that I don't like about it. You know, having to get the book formatted, having to find somebody to do all the formatting, the maps in it. But I found I've got a great crew. They're spread all over the world. I've got cover artists. Let's see, my formatter is in Thailand. I've got a cover artist in Bulgaria. I've got another cover artist, I think, in England. I've got a social media manager from Romania, all over the place. What I like about self-publishing is I can do what I want with it. I can pick my own cover. I can, particularly what I like is I can do giveaways whenever I want. If I decided I want to like give away book 1 free for a week to promote book 2, I can do it. I don't have to beg the publisher to do it for me.
That's awesome. That is.
But you put a lot more work. You put a lot more work into. So you don't realize how much a publisher does for you until you have to do it yourself.
Yep. There's a whole lot of work involved. And you're right, there's formatting, there's, there's editing, and I put them through 3 or 4 different editors. I don't usually send it back to the same one twice. Cover design, just there's so much involved that, I applaud every independent published author out there, because it's a lot of work outside of just just writing it. There's this big laundry list of stuff beyond getting it written to get it done, and it can be arduous. So
when I was first starting,
good.
When I was first starting, before I got published, I had a fairly big name horror writer who was a friend of mine tell me, enjoy it while you can. And I said to him, but I'm not published yet. And he said, right. He said, right now, you're a writer. This is the best time of your life. He said, 10 years from now, you're going to be a writer, an editor, a formatter, a cover artist, a promoter, an organizer. And he said, you'll spend more of your time promoting and developing your books than you do writing them. And I laughed, thinking, what does he know? Best advice he ever gave me.
That's true, too. I spend probably more time doing those types of things than I do writing, which, I should probably change that, because, it takes all the fun out of it.
But, I admire the indie publishers because they take the chance on newer writers, aspiring writers, help them. I wouldn't be where I am today without the indie publishers that helped me out in the beginning. I've been published for a little over 10 years now. I'm confident enough that I can go out and do this stuff. 8, 9 years ago, I would have been petrified. I probably would have given up if I had to do it all myself. So I love the indie and I love the independent publishers because they work with you. You're not a name. You're not a book cover. You're an individual. I've stayed friends with most of the independent publishers that used to publish my books.
Yeah, and you're right there. With Angry Eagle Publishing, what we do is we put out periodic anthologies that invite people to try their hand at writing. And, you know, when I get these submissions in, some of them may need a little bit of work. So, you know, usually I will go through the submission and I'll send it back with comments and thoughts and stuff. And the thing is, sometimes it takes, people get frustrated because it takes a long time for me to get these anthologies out. Part of it is because I have to send the stories off, you know, to editors. They have mentors that I hook them up with, which is just an author like you or me, or I have sucked Doreen into it, Doreen Stelter, and a few others that have been recruited to be mentors for people. But I remember when I published my first book back in 2014, I didn't know squat. And I didn't even have good English. So the first book, it was terrible. Oh my gosh, it was so bad. At my first round of the book, it's been edited repeatedly and extensively at this point. But if I knew then what I know now, or had somebody like me who helped them, walk them through. I have some people that I don't publish them at all, but I help them, you know, to get their stuff published on their own. I try to be a resource that people can go to, even if they don't use the services at Ingria Publishing. But I wish that I had that kind of a hand, like you did. You had that early on to help you through. And there are so many out there that are really struggling. The indie author is a breed all its own. You have to have tenacity, and you have to, you know, you have to have drive, you have to have willingness, and you have to have a thick skin, because you know, I have read traditionally published books with mistakes in it, and there's a couple of them that are huge mistakes, and they don't even change them in the traditionally published world. They don't even change these mistakes. And I have seen them, and yet, you know, nobody says a word. But if you are an independent published person and there's a mistake in your book, oh, good grief, the grammar Nazi comes out and, you know, regales you with a 1-star review on Amazon because you have a thing for an Oxford comma, you know, which they've determined at this point in time, no matter where in a sentence you put the comma, if that's where you wanted the pause, that's where it goes. But yeah, it's a tough world. And, you know, choosing after having your books published, choosing to walk that path is brave.
Over the years, well, when I was first starting out, I had 2 big name authors who were helping me. And the reason I did was I used to run the agency's writers group. So I would bring in, for like once every 2 or 3 months, we'd bring in big name authors for lectures, writers, cartoonists, and that. And I got to be friends with a lot of them. And I had 2 of them who helped me and got me on my feet. When I got published, I said, how can I ever thank you? And they said, pay it forward.
Yep.
They said, we did this for you because we thought you were good and we thought you were going to be successful. When you find other writers trying to get on their feet, help them. And I've done it for several.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I believe in that firmly. You know, I always try to, you know, reach back down and give someone a hand up. And I don't know. I just feel like it is, it's good karma.
And we're not competitors.
No.
You know, if I do well, that doesn't mean somebody else is doing bad. You know, that's one of the reasons why I love The Written Undead. We get in there, we're all friends, we laugh, we joke, you know, rising tide raises all boats.
Yep, that's the truth too. And, you know, that's one of the most, that comes from Craig. And it's one of the most profound things, I think, that I've heard, because it's the truth. And a lot of people feel like, you know, we're all competitors, but we're not. We're not in competition because, you know, and I've explained this to people in these groups, because I have a whole network of these groups now. There's, you know, the Written Apocalypse, Written Undead, the Written Horror, the Written Dystopias, and then, you know, Authors of the Apocalypse and a few others that, you know, they all work together to help to promote one another. And, you know, the one thing that I
Yes.
tell everybody is that I can't write enough books to keep even a single reader constantly reading. These people devour books like it's going like a book a day,
Yeah.
some of them, you know, and I can't write that fast. So now here I have surrounded myself with a group of wonderful people and excellent writers to keep the fans entertained so they aren't wandering off, you know, to discover something new and possibly forget about my books when I'm being slow at getting them to market. So, I mean, I love our groups and the camaraderie that we share within these groups.
Oh, they're fantastic. You know, I love interacting with fellow writers, and I love interacting with the fans. I've always even told all my fans, got a question, DM me, or just put it on my Facebook page, and I'll answer it.
Yeah.
Now, if you
Yeah.
ask me questions about my job in the agency, I may have to kill you after I answer it, but I will answer it.
Ooh, yeah. I'm good. I don't need any of those. We're all set. Well, we are running into about 8:30, which
All
is
right.
the top of the hour. Do you have a website? Would you like to share a website with everybody?
I will share I'm going to put in the link. It is Scott M. Baker, author, at blogspot.com. But I'll tell you, that's not the best place to find me. I have it. You can go there. You can see all my books. You can order them from there, or you can order them from my Amazon authors page. The best place to find me is where I'm most active is on my Facebook page, Scott Baker Demon Hunters. If you type that in, you should come up with it. The profile, not the profile, but the cover in the background is Nurse Alyssa versus the zombies. And I'm also spend a lot of time on Twitter. My account on Twitter is Vampire Hunters. I joined Vampire_Hunters. I joined Twitter right after I started writing my vampire series, and I didn't think ahead to the other stuff. And I post some weird crap on here, but I'm on Instagram as Scott M. Baker Writer, and I put the link for that.
Awesome. You can find all these links in our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/written undead, which is where you can find all this information. So if you happen to be listening and you're not in the group, you can find it over there. Also, you can go to writtenapocalypse.com to find archives of these shows. And since this is only our second show that we've done on video, it is on YouTube. And I'm looking to put them into its own channel, which we do have a channel, the Written Apocalypse channel on YouTube, to find these. And when I get them loaded onto YouTube, I hope to have steal all these links for you and make sure to put them into the YouTube description so that people will be able to find it. Did you have any last thoughts that you'd like to share with everybody?
Just, I've known most of you from the Written Undead. A lot of you are fans on my Scott Baker Demon Hunters. I want to thank all of you. I love writing, but if I did not have fans who read my books and enjoyed them, I would be sitting in the basement writing for just myself. And I think my wife might be upset about that. So thank you. I mean, without readers, writers don't have a job to do. Thank you. Hope you all stick with us. And for the fans of Nurse Alyssa, some great stuff coming up the next 6 to 8 months.
Excellent. It was wonderful having you on the show, Scott. It was, at least we
Thank
haven't convinced me to watch another, although you did try to convince me to watch another something with fast zombies so I can be horrified for another week. I'm not watching whatever it was. I don't remember the name of it, and I'm good with that.
It is the kingdom, and you will wind up watching it because you're intrigued now.
I don't know. Oh man, I could not even move. Y'all told me, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this, and I couldn't even move. I'm sitting there just watching it. And it was a really good movie, but it scared the crap out of me. I guess maybe I'm kind of, not just fast zombies are just freaky. Something comes flying at you and wants to tear your arm off. That's just a bit much, But it was a genuine pleasure to have you on the show. And next week we have Tom Abrahams. He is going to be on the show next week, and so I'm pretty excited about that. And hopefully everybody will hang around. That one will be back over on the Written Apocalypse group. But hopefully we're going to get some more, we're going to suck in some more of the zombie writers and get them to come and join us on the show as well, because, no matter what anybody says, zombies are just, it's like Frankenstein or Dracula or whatever. It's just one of those things that are out there, even though we say that they are not real. It's a fascination. There's just like a whole cult following for zombies, and Walking Dead will tell you that. Yeah, it was the top show or something for years. So we look forward to more.
Well, thank you for having me, Dee.
It was a pleasure to have you. And we're going to sign on off of here. And we will see everybody next week with Tom Abrahams and talking about his character, I hope, because a lot of people are asking Marcus Battle. And we will talk to everybody then. Peace.
All right, bye-bye.
Can y'all see I'm blind? I can't see anything. My eyes were hurting me, so that's why I had on my other glasses. And now I don't have any on, and I'm like squinting. But we're on out.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.